And here we go.
Oh. Okay.
Super. Card game video. This time we're with Josh.
It's me again.
Hey, look.
So, this my boy.
Okay, what you do?
Got top 8.
Top
I think
8?
technically like 7th because my
Alright,
my loss was 3rd place.
Here we go.
So I did it with this guy.
Okay.
He's pretty good right now. He's like, if you want to be a douchebag, but like you don't want to be a Janemba player, you go with this guy.
Okay.
So he's pretty cool. He's pretty similar where you really don't need anything. You don't even need a deck. Like you could just show up with this leader and take games.
Boy, if you don't show me this deck.
So
This is blue, yellow.
this is it's tricolor
Tricolored? Okay.
Hirudegarn. Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously you're gonna start off with your energy that is required for you to play the game. So if you don't have these, like, you get kind of screwed over because you don't get to do your counter plays. There's like 2 games, maybe 3 games throughout the entire event where I didn't charge it until I think turn 3 or 4. But even then, I Phantom Flame Cannoned like every single turn until I saw it, and I was like, okay, I'm Gooch. I got this.
Okay.
Yeah. So this, I don't think this is in like super proper order, but like we'll go with it. So we got the final piece of the chain. So he's pretty good. He's a negate. He's a big body. He's removal. He's hand rip. Like he does everything. I think I only went into it 2 or 3 times, but like the games that I did get it out, even if it only happened once where I did a hand rip and a board 1 destruction, like this guy is a monster. There was one game where I felt really silly. I summoned this and the Toa player swung at me. I forgot he was on board because I was waiting to negate the mirror attack. They took away my barrier and then they killed it. So I was like, oh, I'm mad goofed.
Feels bad.
So
always
negate the first attack if you're against like Toa or anything that could get rid of barrier. If they have a bunch of energy, like don't let them God strike you and kill it or put it in energy. So after that you got super combos. Believe it or not, this was probably my most sided out card. That's only because of Janemba, though.
So much Janemba.
Side these out against Janemba. I only went against it in day 2, but I went against it like one after another, so that was rough. You got the Goku Blacks. This guy, I'm pretty sure he won me most of my matchups. So literally turn 2 and on, I was summoning these every single turn, and I saw my entire deck. So if I had to figure out how to beat someone, I was gonna figure it out. I was gonna have what I need to beat them. He helps you source through your deck so fast, and the leader already does it himself. The leader being able to discard if it wants to and draw if it wants to, and you get to see 2 cards. So if you're against Janemba, you just keep drawing until you get a win con, then you stop drawing altogether. Probably the best tip in practice that I got, thanks to your man behind the camera.
Yeah, I feel like I told you that.
Yeah, you definitely did, and I don't know why I didn't see it at first, but like I thought it was required if you had a hand. So I'm glad I reread it, and I'm glad that you gave me that tip. I did it a lot in the top cut. Like it saves games if stopping yourself from drawing. So like obviously if you're against Janemba, don't play these every single turn. If you have these and you want more aggression, you can summon it and do all the draws. But if you're doing that turn, make sure that the Hirudegarn does not draw. So you swing, don't draw, summon this, swing, draw at the end of your turn with this, because you don't want to do both in one turn if you're doing either of them, or at all. First counter play that we come across, this deck is just as obnoxious as Janemba. You don't let your opponent play as much as you can. You make them feel like they're playing because like they're trying to, but like they're trying to play. They're not actually playing the game. So like I lost this game, but some guy played 3 Miras against me, and I chomped at every single one. And then I negated like all of them the next turn. He had 3 Miras on board for I think 4 turns. It was pretty ridiculous. Still lost it because he had 3 Miras on board, but like
that'll do it.
Yeah. So one of the other win cons is the ultimate. The ultimate, I kept wanting to play it, but when you're playing Tricolor, you have to wait till you're at 6 energy. There was only one time the entire day that I was like, man, they play too much barrier.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to play green this game. Yeah. And then I did win with the ultimate that game. So, like, you don't have to charge the green side when you get to it, but at the same time, you want to charge green because the green engine is just so good. So,
like, this new stuff coming out.
This card is really, really good in this deck. It won me a lot. It, like, maybe 2-3 games total. But, like, honestly, of all the win cons, he's the worst one in this entire deck.
Okay.
Next, with Tricolor, you can't really fit the feet in the deck. So you go with this Minosha, because, one, it's a 10k body instead of a 5k body. So if you really need to push for a game, you could summon this guy. It's similar to how people summon the Double Strike Kai. Yes, he's 5,000 power less than that, but like sometimes you need another attack. And also the fact that he could bounce stuff has come in clutch really, really well. Right. So like against that same Toa player, I did bounce their Mira one of the times so that it would just, he'd have to recast it, and that means that if he does do that, then he's losing out on a hand destruction, a board destruction, like something. So it puts him back one play if he wants to get it out and swing for infinite power.
For those who don't remember, this is 4 more energy, you bounce 1 for 2 energy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 2, yeah.
Okay.
For 2 energy, when you're at 4 energy, bounce anything.
Yes.
Counterplay Gohan. I wish I was playing this at 4 just so I saw it more often, but at the same time, of the 3, for what I was expecting at this regional, I do agree 3 was probably the right choice. The fact that you could play him, get your energy back, and still go into another counterplay for a Champa or a Vegeta just makes him so great. So the main play behind him is for like U6. If you're against U6 anything, you wait for them to get their big stuff on board. The 4-drops, the Vados if you are already tapped out and you don't care if they save it. Basically that turns him into a pseudo Vegeta. It's kind of cool. You could bounce like the tournament pack Kefla, like everything in U6 gets pooped on by this Gohan. He's really, really good. Also, just the fact that it's a 1-drop because you get that energy back. Most of my games I was winning because I had a fat board and they couldn't answer it, because anytime they try to answer it, I would answer them. So they didn't want to play. So basically, this was my cheapest answer for aggressing. Next we got Bojack. I only ran 3. I wish I ran 4, but at the same time, like, it really isn't needed. The only thing that I felt it was absolutely needed in was the Janemba matchup. So against Janemba, you don't want to play during your turn. You want to play during your opponent's turn, because the only way to counter it is to not let them counterplay. Because the new version of Janemba, they're milling you a lot less than all the other variants. So if you're able to just aggress them really hard, you win, but you also can't aggress them in a normal fashion like before. Before they didn't answer you, so you're just like playing a lot of stuff during your turn. Now you gotta wait for them to swing, and you gotta punish them for doing what they have to do, which is charge, swing, pass, and now you get to counter them for doing that. So these are really nice in that matchup. Outside of that, I didn't really use them too often. I don't think I blocked with it once the entire event.
I think that stream match you swung with all of them, right?
Yeah, every single one. Next is this is my second favorite card in the entire game. I love this thing. Like, early game, just saying no to people who are really aggressive, or late game saying, hey, you don't get to survive, instead of, hey, try to survive. Like, being able to turn over and rip a card out of their hand, getting them to 2, and then they get a 50-50 shot at what they wanted to keep against you, that won me so many games. So I would run this deck list is like really, really tight. So this is another one. I kept putting it down to 2. I kept putting it back to 4, and I wish it was at 4, but I think 3 is the rightful place for it in almost every list that I've ever made for Hirudegarn. I wish I played 4 of this guy. So Tapion, if anyone summons anything mid-range, like, they're only playing 1 or 2 things that you allow to get out on board because you run out of energy for counterplay. So they get like 1 thing, and then you're just like, hey, that 1 thing that you got, nope. Put that back on top of your deck.
Oh, nice.
Skip draw phase. Also, a lot of people playing Toa never swing at you. So, like, you do draw a lot on the front side, but you need to awaken, because I think every Toa matchup, I was like at 0 cards in hand almost the entire match, and I would win any time that I saw Tapion. Like, this card is clutch. Best negate in the game is free, and then it's more free, and then it's even more free. Wow. So like, okay. so if you play blue, don't be silly, put 4. Okay. Next we got the green package. I only shockingly play 7 green cards.
You only need to charge 1.
Yeah, you only need to charge 1. You see so much as this leader, like, you don't have to charge it till turn 3, but you want to charge it turn 2. So if you see it in your opening hand, keep a green card, and then eventually you're going to see more green cards. Like, you see your entire deck with this leader. So the difference between like this and the Janemba builds is Janemba needs a lot of green because they're not drawing that much, but because you're drawing so much in this leader, like,
it doesn't even matter.
7's great. Yeah. Vegeta is probably the best counter play that we have. Being able to pop a card instead of putting it in their hand means that they're going neg 1 instead of a like pseudo neg 1 like Gohan. Gohan's amazing because like you get an energy back, but this card, they lose that card, that's a neg 1, and then they have to warp a card in their hand, that's a neg 2. And with a leader that's already negging them every single turn, like, this card is the reason I didn't play Phantom Flame at 4, because like it's already Phantom Flame on legs. Like, it's so good. Then we got this guy.
Part of the chain.
If I weren't playing the 9-drop and I still for some reason was playing Tapions in this deck, I think I'd still play this card. This card's amazing. I started just summoning these as soon as I possibly could every single match, and I swung with them non-stop. And people in their head are like, oh my god, he's swinging at me with that, he's gonna evolve it, I gotta kill it. And so like people are swinging at this thing, it's got a 20k body, so it's like, okay, I don't have to combo almost anything to save this. And if you have another one in hand, they're free to summon. So I'd see people like drop 2-3 cards trying to kill it so that I couldn't evolve. Then I'm just like, okay, here's another one. I'm just going to swing with it more. Most of the time, I sided out my 9-drop, and they were just killing it for nothing. So like, this card, there's a reason it got that price hype. It makes this leader so much more aggressive. It's fantastic. Next, this is the best win con that this leader can have. It's basically the equivalent of Mira and Jampa for Broly. So their hand is always at like 3 cards, maybe 4 cards. And when you get this on board and you go for game, if they have 1 card in hand and 1 life, they can't negate. They're not allowed to. Like the fact that it gives a permanent as your opponent must pay the price of warping a card in order to use it. They have one card in hand. They literally can't negate. For like Janemba, if you get them to one card in hand and they haven't used their leader effect, they can't use that either. So this guy is super clutch. I honestly don't think I would have done good at all in the tournament if I wasn't playing him. And I saw him almost every single game. It was fantastic. So next on to the side deck. I'm just gonna slide this over there.
Okay.
First we got Dark Hole.
Oh, God.
So when it comes to U6, you got board. so we got Forced Ejection, Mass Saiyan. I sided him in one time the entire event, and it felt absolutely garbage. So I still would keep this in my side. It had nothing to do with the fact that it's good or bad. This card's amazing. Side this card. I didn't go against a single Shenron, and then I went against Henry Do, okay, whatever your name is. I'm sorry if you see this.
Henry from GC.
Okay, so he was objection spamming me with another Hirudegarn list. He's playing Hero AOD. That man's a monster with it. He was objection spamming me game 1, game 2. I didn't see this game 2. Then game 3, I play it and he doesn't objection once, and I was like,
You're supposed to do it after the objection.
oh no, I didn't. I saw it. And
okay.
I didn't mean play it. So I saw it and I was just sitting there like, oh yeah, I finally got the answer. He did an objection. so it felt terrible. If I went against Shenron, I would have been doing this video talking about how glorious this card is. It's fantastic. But that had nothing to do with this competition.
Okay. Then.
Next is this guy.
For removal, right?
For removal mainly, but he is the only card in the entire side and the entire deck that got me a game loss. Pay attention to Toa's energy. Oh, I thought he was tapped out. I swung for a double strike like an idiot.
Dumb.
But yeah, this card's really good. Just one energy, double strike, and board clear. Like it feels really good. I went against a U6 Broly round 2, and he put in so much work against that. Every other matchup that I sided him in, he was really good just for the double strike. I don't think I killed anything with him. They never had a board. Next, I have Tien. Tien was my favorite card the entire competition. Like I sided him in most games. I went against a lot of blue. It was either Toa, Shenron, or blue that I went against. So every time I sided him in, he's just such a good card. It felt amazing. And then also you got these. They're the reason he's so good. The Tien is so good. So like these are just 15k bodies. You block one attack, you get them out, you swing with them willy nilly, just like you gonna do something. Basically, it's a discard one every single turn. It's awesome. So with Tien, they can't do anything. It's fantastic. So this, I forgot that it was in my side. I completely forgot. And against Henry, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna beat this match 2, second day. I was freaking out. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to beat him the very first round of top 32. And then my boy Christian's just like, yo Josh, don't you have Frost Deadly Poison? I was like, oh my god, I forgot that's in my side.
And that's how you won.
So yeah, if you're playing blue and yellow in the same deck, play this card. It's one of the best cards in the game. Okay. Self-explanatory. It's Cold Bloodlust, it's Crusher Ball, and it draws you a card.
Okay.
Win games. This one, a lot of was the main reason I made it to top 8. So like this against Janemba is amazing, but at the same time, the guy who beat me in top 8, he big brained it. He did not counter me one time.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're only supposed to combo.
So he literally comboed out of every single attack the entire third game. Because game 2, he countered me. I did this. He countered me. I did another. I got to my 6th card left in deck, and it was my win con, and I beat him with it. So he realized I would have lost from deck out if he just never countered me the 2 times he ever countered me the entire game. And then he did that game 3, and I'm just sitting there sweating, and he finally counters on my last swing, and it wasn't enough. Like, I needed 3 more swings or something, and use Iguasus instead of these. Maybe use one of these. They're really cool because they got 50 bodies.
One cost body or one cost 15k.
Yeah, that's the whole reason that I put it in. I wanted to side into a pure aggro, pretty much. So that is the deck. Matchups. I feel like I covered that throughout the entire explanation of the deck. But first round, I went against Toa. I think he got top 16. Then I went against U6 Broly. Guy picked up how to play against this. Game 2 is kind of tough, but then I changed my game plan, game 3, and it threw him off. After that, I think I went against OG Broly third round. That was like kind of weird because
what do you do?
I like everything he summons is really big, and I'm losing a bunch of cards in my hand, and like it was I 2-0'd him, but it was like shocking that it actually was doing a lot.
It's a cool deck.
So shout out to that guy for making it work. He didn't even play the ultimate, and he was still like doing pretty well with it. After that was U6 Shenron. He had a lot of red in his U6 Shenron build, and that slapped the hell out of me game 1. He summoned the Batara Keflas, and those are crazy. The red ones that get a power up draw. So he's drawing. I tried decking him out game 1. I stopped swinging at him, but like he had so much pressure that I lost game 1. But after that, like he wasn't seeing enough red to go into them, and I was board wiping him as much as possible. So I was killing anything he summoned, I was swinging at everything he summoned, and then once I got rid of those and I felt safe, I went in. So after that, I think I went against another Toa. I don't remember how that went. Oh, I do. So he was playing I think it was the Jordan Markle version with all the vanillas and stuff. It was pretty tough. He didn't see a bunch of Miras the third game, and because of that, I was able to control him to death. And then the final round was Henry's AOD Hiru, and that deck's crazy. So if they have their video up on that at all, I don't know, but check it out. That deck's pretty cool. I'm tempted to change things up, try it out.
It's tight.
So shout outs to everyone that I went with. We had a huge showing for Vegas. It was pretty cool. We had like half of our people top. My boy Jaden, I know we got a bunch of people shouting him out. He got first place in open, first regional whatsoever. Like that man's a monster.
That's wild.
I remember going up to him at his only tie, and he was so sad. I was like, nah, man, you got this. That's your only loss is a tie. You're okay.
Yeah.
So other than that, shout outs to Christian again for reminding me that I have deadly poison in my side.
Amazing.
Shout outs to my team, Stage 0. All the beautiful folks on that team teaching me how not to be a plebe.
Yeah.
I do a lot of weird stuff, and they call me out on it.
Literally tell you, just play a good deck and we'll do fine, and that's
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I did before, I just overthought myself, and then I was like, I feel pretty comfortable with control, and Dehan slapped the goofy out of me, so I decided, Dehan did it, I'm gonna do my own thing pretty similar to it.
Okay, then.
So,
That's all, right?
yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a great time. I wore this all day.
Oh, Christ.
So if anyone recognizes me from that day, it'll be because of this.
And if you are not subscribed already, subscribe. If you are new, like, dislike, please comment about his travel pillow and how you should take it off. If you guys have any questions, please put in the description. Wow. Put in the comments below. Any last words?
Sorry it took so long.
Okay, bye!